Hey, alien lovers. Here's a disturbing thought. You may not love it. What if disclosure is not just about aliens, but about America's new religion? A recent article has connected Steven Spielberg's new film, Disclosure Day, to something bigger than UFOs. Can't wait for that movie, by the way. Cannot wait. That it's not just secret Pentagon programs, but a deep cultural obsession with the idea of hidden truth itself. And honestly, that article, which I will post a link below, accidentally touches on something really profound to me. Because UFO belief in America was never just about aliens. It's about deep distrust. After Watergate, after Vietnam, after decades of scandals and lies and corruption and all this crazy stuff, American style, Americans have stopped trusting institutions. And Hollywood has reflected that shift. I think we all can agree on that. In Jaws, the mayor hides the shark attacks. In Close Encounters, the government gaslights ordinary people who witnessed something completely impossible. They saw the freaking aliens and they gaslight them. In E.T., federal agents literally seal off the house under plastic quarantine tarps like a secret biohazard operation when they didn't need to. Then came the X-Files. I love it. Mulder's famous line, "I want to believe," is powerful. It's not "I know," it's not "they're here," it's believe and I want to believe. That matters because modern UFO culture increasingly operates less like science and more like faith. Think about it. UFOs are real, aliens are real, but I think this is also true. For decades, disclosure has always been imminent. It's always right around the corner. Stephen Greer, every 3 months, says it's imminent. Back in the 50s, though, Major Donald Kehoe, I think is how you say it, said that official disclosure was imminent. The 50s. Now in 2024, Luis Elizondo says disclosure's imminent. What is that, 70 years apart? Same promise, exactly the same. That's eerily similar to apocalyptic religions that continually predict the end times. The revelation is always coming. The truth is always almost here, but never arrives, or never fully. Jim Jones, he was saying right before everyone in Jonestown killed themselves that you could hear them coming in the jungle. They're almost here. So there are weird things happening. Military pilots like David Fravor have described UAPs performing maneuvers that are completely impossible, and they're not secret craft from us. Pentagon has admitted about a lot of this stuff. That alone is historically significant. But here is where I differ from the article. Because I personally think, I know, that something real is happening. And they're coming from the ocean, not from space. I absolutely believe that. The amount of military testimony, solar anomalies, transmedium objects, repeated encounters, near naval operations, it's too consistent to completely dismiss. 9,000 ocean-based UFO sightings since 2022, on record. So honestly, I think the evidence increasingly points toward the ocean connection and not toward space. I'm okay with that. But that does not automatically mean the government is being honest about it. I think any of us would be surprised if we thought the government was being honest about it. So, two things can be true at the same time. The phenomenon is real, and the government is still exploiting the mystery for their own purposes. Distraction, military budgets, all that crap. Disinfo operations are real. Psychological operations are real. Governments throughout history have manipulated public fear and mythology. I would if I were them, right? UFO culture itself has become too powerful, the culture, so you can manipulate people. That's the part people don't really want to admit. Either you believe or you don't. But in between, I think, is where the good stuff is. And ufology does feel like a religion to me. There's belief systems around it. There's all kinds of things. Whitley Strieber, around hidden knowledge, about promised revelation, meaning in the universe, our place in the universe. So you get this weird Venn diagram where something genuinely freaking weird is happening, but also governments exploit and shape the narrative around it, and millions of people emotionally invest in disclosure, almost like it's a coming apocalypse, or second coming, or cargo cult, or something like that. All three are true at the same time. And honestly, that possibility is way more unsettling to me than simple aliens are real headlines. Would you believe it anyway if President Trump said they're real? you'd probably still be mixed, if you even cared at this point. So the article makes a bold comparison between disclosure and religious apocalypse. And honestly, I'm kind of here for it. Even though I'm a believer in the real thing, it makes sense. In Christianity, believers await revelation, the uncovering of hidden truth. In UFO culture, believers await disclosure, the uncovering of hidden truth. Even the words themselves mean exactly the same thing in my reading. Apocalypse literally means the unveiling. Disclosure means removal of concealment. Both promise that someday the curtain's going to be pulled back and we'll know all the answers. That doesn't really make sense if you really think about it, right? So there's an emotional layer in vindication. A lot of believers feel mocked, dismissed by experts, ridiculed by mainstream culture. Totally true. But that's how they feel. So disclosure becomes way more than just evidence. It becomes revenge. A cosmic moment where the outsiders get proven right, where the elites were lying all along. This is my dog. Where the crazy people suddenly become the sane ones. Who doesn't love the idea of that? And that emotional dimension is powerful because humans need meaning. We need mystery. We need to feel that reality is bigger than the ordinary routines of work, bills, death, frickin' social media, whatever. But here's the terrifying possibility the article ends on. What if there's nothing to disclose? Not because people are dumb, not because witnesses are all lying, but because humans are just pattern-seeking creatures living in a chaotic universe. Or what if we really are alone in the universe? Wouldn't that be insane? If literally we are alone? I don't think we are. I know we're not, but I do like to think about that sometimes. So it ends with that, which I think is just trying to remain credible in their own eyes. But the unexplained does not mean automatically extraterrestrial. And maybe the idea of disclosure survives precisely because it can never fully arrive. Because once the mystery ends, something else ends too. The hope, the anticipation, the belief that somewhere behind the curtain, somebody finally has all the answers. Okay? Now, my personal take, which is evidence-based, though I grew up totally believing in flying saucers and, gray aliens and all of it. But over time, I kind of deprogrammed myself just from thinking about it and the science of it all. And then with the USS Nimitz thing and this modern golden age that we're in now, I started realizing I don't think that's real. That feels an awful lot like mid-20th century American anti-communism fear. I think they're coming from the ocean, and they've been here a long time, but they don't want anything to do with us. I think we just had to believe that they're coming from Mars or the moon or Zeta Reticuli, and that they're here with galactic senates like Star Trek, and presidents have all the answers and they're in communication with them. That does not feel right. If you even think about the alternative possibility for a minute, you realize, I don't think that's right. We don't see giant spaceships, motherships, flying saucers coming in from deep space all the time. We don't see anything. But what we do have is the weather service, we have the Navy, we have the Air Force, we have fishing boats, we have international various cameras and satellites all over the earth, all seeing thousands of UFO sightings a year, the good ones. There's tens of thousands of ones that are just misidentified other things or whatever, but thousands of credible ones that fit a pattern, all coming from the ocean. And you cannot tell me that it's secret American or human military craft, because this stuff does not behave anywhere near. If anybody had 1/10 of the technology that we are witnessing, game over, they would rule the world. It's not us. Coming from the ocean, and the big kicker, no one really knows what it is. I think we have some great theories on exactly where they're coming from, and that there's a lot of info coming out that's kind of mind-bending. This whole thing about them being from another dimension, I'm not there yet. I think that they're probably unmanned devices monitoring something going on down deep. And they know that we're here, but they don't want anything to do with us. They would have zapped us a long time ago if they wanted to. But it's like semi-intelligent, maybe ancient AI mining down there. I don't know. My theory is von Neumann machines, but